Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get straight into this next audio because I've been trying to get it up like literally all month long, but I have just been doing other things in between these audios. So I'm finally getting this one up. So this is going to be part 2 of the cost of disobedience, where I'm going to be sharing pretty much a couple of encounters that I've had during this journey of mine, during this pioneering journey that the Lord has had me on, where He has had me to just be completely obedient to His voice and His voice only. And I have a couple of stories that I'm going to be sharing. I already kind of mentioned a little bit in the first one, so if you guys haven't watched that one yet, I will go ahead and link it down below, being part 1. So this is part 2, and then y'all are going to want to look out for the part 3 that is going to be coming out, because in that one I'm also going to be sharing an encounter that I also had when I was in New York. So you guys definitely, if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and come alongside with this journey and subscribe. Hit that like button and press that notification bell. That way you're updated on all of my new posts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Just wanted to add right here at the beginning of that audio that right now it is 2:02 in the morning, 2:02 a.m. February 27th, 2024. Sorry, I'm like trying to think. And the Lord pretty much, so I had initially recorded the audio that you guys are about to hear February 10th, and I haven't been able to post it yet because now I know why. I kept coming back to this word. I actually even deleted it, so thank God that I found it, because y'all, the Lord ended up confirming and solidifying everything that I spoke in this audio that you guys are about to hear today. Like, He literally sealed the confirmation with evidence and proof and everything. I've learned my lesson once and for all, because see what God is doing in my life in particular, it's not going to look how other people think that my life should be looking like. I had yet another encounter, second encounter, y'all, same month, 1 year apart, to the date, to the exact date. I am not even joking. This is why I'm coming on here to share this, because the Lord literally confirmed, and I just realized that yes, this was the exact date. I had this encounter February 26th of last year, 2023, where this girl, I had met this other girl, on social media. She had come underneath my comments, one of my comments, and had said something, because I wrote about divorce and Valentine's Day and all that stuff, and she commented, and so we kind of hit it off from there, and I had realized that we were following each other, right? And so we just connected, whatever. And this is at the beginning point where the Lord was really showing me spiritual warfare in the level that most of your average people don't really seem to recognize. And so this girl, we started off initially as friends, and see, here's where I made that mistake, is here I go again. There I went again, sharing about what God was doing in my life, what God is getting ready to do. And see, where I keep messing up is thinking that people are genuinely going to be happy for me, because I'm the type of person where I'm happy for other people's successes and other people's blessings. I'm always the one that would be the first one to congratulate and the first one to be genuinely and authentically happy for someone else. You know, because I hold no place of jealousy and envy or any of those things in my heart. And so I just assume, you know, when I go and meet someone that, you know, they have the same heart as me, and it's just not true. They don't. And I've had to learn that, you know, like when a narcissist person, you know, there's no, someone that breeds envy and jealousy can never be happy, no matter what it is. And so that's just kind of like this, y'all see, like this cycle, this like toxic cycle, and it's demonic. But you know, the Lord has I know he's used every single bit of what the enemy has done. When God gave me this promise, this was not a conference call. And I'm telling you right now, I'm replaying, like it's so vivid. Like this is so beyond me, honestly. This encounter that I had with this girl, she started off as friends. Like we, you know, like it was kind of like this, almost the same thing, y'all. Almost the same thing that I experienced. It could have been that, you know, if I didn't take the measures that I took to remove this person. But the Lord literally showed me. And see, one thing I have to remember is the Jezebel spirit always operates in a religious and a legalistic person. That is where you're going to find them. So guess where you're going to find them? They're going to be up in the ministries. They're going to be up in the church. They're going to be the so-called prayer partners and the so-called, you know, pastors, leaders. That's where you're going to find the Jezebel spirit, because again, Jezebel spirit loves a position of control, of domination, and the only way that they, you know, is through like a level of leadership in the church. So these are the religious narcissists that you deal with, where they can quote you scripture. Some of these will even verbatim, because one thing that a Jezebel spirit does is they target real prophets, true prophets. So this girl, after me telling her and opening up to her, I opened up, I shared with her things that the Lord, honestly, that was my fault. Thinking that it was okay and thinking that it was a safe space to share what the Lord was having me, what the Lord was doing and is doing in my life. And so she like literally turns and flips the script on me, literally. She went from that supportive little friend, right, to all of a sudden she was like, I have not been able to sleep. I have not been able to da-da-da. I need to tell you something. I had a dream about you. And so on and so forth, right? So on this particular day, this was literally February 26, 2023, y'all. She calls me because it was on a Sunday. So she had gotten home from church or whatever. And she begins to tell me, and I'm so glad I wrote this down. She says that she had this dream about me and that she was not sure what it meant. That she was not sure, you know, so I guess she was just telling me the dream to see if the Lord spoke to me about it, which he did. But the Lord helped me to interpret, you know, beyond what she thought her dream was about. Because I was like, Lord, I don't think... Yeah, so let me just share the dream, okay? So she said that I was hosting an event that was similar to the dating shows that you see that you hold on, that was similar to the dating shows, to see who would fit to attend. Okay, I'm not sure if I wrote that right. Like that. And there was a waiting room, and there was tables with cards on it and names for people with their seating. Said I was looking for hers. She said she was looking for hers because she didn't have a card with her name on it. But that she decided to invite herself in. So she took other people's cards to try to get in, to sit in and listen. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm telling you right now. I am telling you right now. I didn't know the Lord was going to bring me here tonight. I did not know the Lord was going to bring me right here. I honestly forgot that I wrote this down. I forgot that I wrote this down. But this entire, since I've encountered this particular thing this month, which I will, share in the other audios, wow, because I just wrote a post on my Instagram earlier this evening, and now I'm reading exactly pretty much what I wrote. Her dream of this lady's dream. I cannot believe this. So look she said in her dream that she was looking for hers, I guess her name tag or something, whatever, because she didn't have a card with her name on it. But that she decided to invite herself in. So she took other people's cards. So she was literally going through people's cards, trying to take someone else's card to invite herself in and to listen in and spectate on what was going on. Because in her mind, she was saying that, oh, well, it's okay for me to be here because we're friends. But she said then the rightful person that had, the name tag and for the specific seat would actually end up coming to take their seat. And she would have to get up to go find another seat until that person would come and find their seat. And apparently, I got upset with her and I started telling her that she needed to leave. And she said that I was acting malicious and thought that maybe I was jealous towards her. So she left and got on the phone with someone after I told her to sit outside. And then she said that her alarm clock woke her up. And I literally cannot believe this, you guys, because I encountered the same exact thing this month. I literally encountered the same exact thing this month, just with a different person. And I guess kind of go into further detail about the dream that I just read of this girl from last year that I was beginning to become friends with, but that ended really, really quickly because the Lord ended up showing me that she was operating in a full-blown monitoring and a familiar spirit. And one thing you have to understand, you guys, is that the dream that she shared with me, this was the Lord literally showing me exactly what I was already discerning in my spirit about her. That something was not right because she kept asking me a bunch of different questions that were completely irrelevant to getting to know one another. You know what I mean? When you're just meeting someone and you start asking personal questions about their life and about, what God is doing and this and this and that, you better pray and ask God for an increased amount of discernment to show you who this person is and what kind of spirit that they're operating in. Because in my experience, this is how familiar and monitoring spirits work. Is someone will come in, they'll start asking you a bunch of questions, personal questions, if anything, and then yeah. And so this dream that this girl was telling me about, I knew that it was the Lord allowing her to have that dream because I was in prayer. You guys, I was doing a 3-day smoothie fast during that weekend too, when she had this dream. And I just knew that God used this situation to show me exactly what I was already discerning, like I said. And then that morning, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, sorry, she calls me to tell me that dream. And then all of a sudden, you guys, like, you know, after I confronted her, because I let her know, like, first of all, let me clarify, I'm not malicious, nor am I jealous of you in any type of way. In fact, I am quite shocked that you would think that about me when you know, really don't even know me. But I can, you know, I was just like telling her, like, I can assure you that what your dream means is not what you think it means. In fact, I told her, like, you know, it's just so interesting how you had this dream that you were like stealing other people's name tags to come and sit in to listen into the event that I was the one hosting. And, you know, I kicked you out because you were just acting just out of order, pretty much. Like, you were, you know, taking other people's names tag. And for, you know, obviously you were not invited because, you know, you are sitting here operating under a different spirit. You are being influenced by another spirit. And God did reveal to me what that dream meant, and that, you know, the things that God is doing in my life, God has allowed a certain audience to be a part of my journey, where people have seen me go through this process. People have seen me leave everything behind, go to New York, come back, get divorced, you know, and then just be in this place of awaiting and in transition and all of the things. So people are spectating, people are, you know, gathering their thoughts. And, you know, we see this with the religious leaders back in Jesus's day, when Jesus arrived on the scene to usher in something brand new. You know, he was the first apostle out of all the apostles. And so the things that he did and the things that Jesus did in his ministry, oh, you better believe there was spectators. There were people questioning and literally demonizing him because they did not understand the way of the kingdom. So in my experience, I've experienced just that, where I've had these encounters with these people who, you know, come and they pose as like, oh, I'm just a prayer partner, or, oh, you know, I'm just a friend, or, you know, whatever. But really they're being influenced by another spirit. So, you know, this whole entire time I've been asking the Lord for continued confirmation if I'm in the right place, you know, because one of the things that this girl ended up telling me was that, you know, there's no way possible. There's no way that God would tell me to stay in the place that he's had me to be in with, you know, my living circumstance. Like, she just could not fathom that God himself has been the one orchestrating every single one of my steps. They have been divinely orchestrated by the Lord. They've been divinely ordered by the Lord. Because trust me, if it were up to me, I would not be here. I literally would not be here. I would not have been here. If it were up to me, I would have never left my hometown. I would have never left my home. I would have never gone out by faith or any of those things. If it were really up to me. So, you know, like, to be told that, oh, like, where you're at currently, like, how can that be of God when, you know, I myself, you know, I'm being really honest. I myself has prayed. I myself have cried. I myself have literally toiled and labored through fasting and prayer, asking the Lord concerning my own situation. So I didn't need anyone else to come in and tell me what I already knew, what I already know. And I've been already seeking the Lord on answers. I've been already seeking the Lord for a way out of this. But he has had me placed in a position, and he has given me multiple, and I mean multiple confirmation. The first day that we got here to this place, y'all, I remember being in the gym, and there was something playing on the TV, and I am pretty sure that I actually recorded what was on the TV screen. So I will show y'all once I find the clip. I will go ahead and put it here, letting you know that the Lord himself is the one that led me here to this place. Oh wow, look, it sure did. That does say Tucson. Wow. That's hilarious. Wow, look. No way. The timing of this commercial that came on. Golfing in Tucson, Arizona. Well. Okay, guys. You funny. Without going into detail, God gave me a tangible sign of confirmation by that thing that popped up on the TV screen, that I was perfectly placed and positioned exactly where God had me and has had me to be in. You know, and as much as it didn't make sense, it literally, there's been so many moments during this entire year that I've been here that it has not made sense to me. But the Lord has assured me over and over and over that it's not supposed to make sense. This whole journey for me has been about trust and obedience. It's not about making sense of what I think and what other people think. This is having blind faith and blind trust that God knows what he's doing. I thought the Lord was going to open up a door for me last year, to move out physically, to be on my own type thing, try to establish myself after my divorce and all this other stuff. But the Lord has not led me to do any of that. In fact, the more that I've tried, the harder the door shuts. And that's on purpose. Because right now the Lord does not want me to try to be out here, and doing all this stuff when he's had me in a very particular season. So going back to, and this is already long, but going back to this girl's dream, in other words, she kept asking me personal questions, y'all. Questions that had no relevance to anything pertaining to, getting to know her, our friendship, whatever. She was being straight up nosy. And it was my fault that I told her my circumstance. And you know what she said to me? God is a God of order, and this thing that you're telling me that God is about to do for you, God's not going to do that. He's not going to send you. He's not going to send you the rescue that you think. And it's just, y'all, I'm telling you, the Lord had to really teach me more than ever before if I'm going to believe God or if I'm going to believe what other people are saying. How is it that someone on the outside looking in is going to be able to tell me what I should do when they're not even in the same situation or circumstance? How does that make sense? Like, you don't even know me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even know the things that God is, like, you haven't even taken the time to even ask me, to even get to know me, to really know my backstory, to know my, no, you're just straight up downright judging me. Literally judging me. And I get it. Trust me, I do. I get it. Living with my ex-husband while being divorced and a Christian woman. I get it. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I get it. Yes, God's the God of order. But you know what? God is also a God that breaks protocols. He breaks protocols for whomever he chooses to break those protocols for. Go and ask Mary and Joseph. Was that in order for God to get a teenage girl pregnant? I mean, I don't know if she was actually a teenager. I don't know. But she was young. She was like 18, 19. Was that an orderly thing to do, to have a virgin become pregnant by the Holy Spirit while she was to be engaged to a man? That is why the Lord had them in hiding. Because if they were to be exposed to people, they probably would have stoned them to death. You see, that's that Pharisee, religious, legalistic spirit, where they immediately demonize something that they don't have any clue or any idea about, saying, oh, that can't be God. How can God tell you this? Or how can God do this? How is it that God can tell you X, Y, and Z when this is going on over here? That God wouldn't do that. Excuse me? Are you God? Because who are you to say what God can and cannot do? To try to act so, that's a spirit of pride right there, saying, oh, God would never do that. God, that's not of God. That's not of God. God wouldn't tell you to go leave your home and leave, divorce. God wouldn't tell you to do that. That's not the Lord. Oh, you're being deceived. You're under witchcraft manipulation. You see, God is the one who defies the odds. Am I right? He is a specialty. He specializes in defying all of the odds. He uses the foolish things to confound the wise. Everyone thought Jesus was going to be born up in a palace, but yet he was born up in a manger. And even King Herod was like, this is the Jesus that you were talking about? This is the King of the Jews? This is the man that was prophesied that was going to take over my throne? What a joke. You see, people think that they know God when they don't. They don't know how he operates. And that's why he's literally bringing down the systems that have been put in place by man and by tradition and by religion. A lot of what we see here up in church today, it's not even from God. It's man-made tradition. These are man-made ideals. Because the God that I know, He is the most spontaneous God that I serve. He doesn't care about your programs and your rules and your regulations. If he says to pack up your home and go to the place that God will show you, it means to do it. Did the Lord say, oh, I'm going to send you over here, but first, well, you better spend a whole year saving up money. Spend a whole year, you've got to be wise, brother. You got to be wise, sister. Don't go. Do you not, you guys, let me tell you, okay, oh my God, I don't, do you know how many people told me not to go to New York? Do you know how many people told me? Everyone that I talked to told me not to go. Everybody, including my own ex-husband. That's what's funny about this whole thing. Because obviously we were still together at the time. Everybody told me not to go. My family, they were looking at me like, what are you smoking? What are you on? What kind of, like, what? You just got this home and now you're leaving? That doesn't make sense. That's not wise. But God told me to do it. So I had to stand firm and say, well, I don't care what you think. God is telling me to do this. So I've got to do it, or else I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life. God was offering me an invitation to go on the greatest journey of my life, regardless of how lonely and how isolating that this pioneering journey that the Lord has had me on in the last, we're going to be coming up on 4 years already. That's crazy to me. 4 years this year. That's kind of unreal to me. I'm gonna have to go back and backtrack, because I'm like, has it really been 4 years already? So she will be 4 this year in October. So yeah, 4 years. 4 years. I can't keep up, y'all, with the time. But anyway, so many people told me not to do it. I even went to someone who claimed to be a prophet. You know, at the time I was just trying to seek counsel. I was just trying to seek godly wisdom and counsel and whatever, because I was just trying to do the right thing. I was trying to seek wisdom and do the right thing. Literally, he told me, he said, no, you're not hearing God, right? That's not from God. He said, where did you come up with that? Who told you to go to New York? I said, the Lord. What do you mean? He said, no, that's not God. He said, no, you need to listen to me, because I'm prophet so-and-so. And you need to stay here and come up underneath my teaching. He said, don't go. That's what he said. Don't go. And it's just so wild. And because he said, he even tried to throw a fear tactic by saying that, if I go, I'm going to end up homeless underneath a bridge. That's what he said. I kid you not. That if I were to go to New York, he said, you're going to end up under a bridge, homeless, because of how expensive it is. I could not believe it. And I left that meeting that day with a pit feeling in my stomach, because I could not believe that everybody was telling me. And so, can you imagine? I started to feel like, Lord, maybe I'm hearing you wrong. Maybe I am hearing you wrong. Because how come everybody else is coming against what you're telling me to do? That doesn't make sense. And I remember praying and inquiring of the Lord, and guess where he took me to? He took me to the story in the Bible of the young and the old prophet. So in this next audio, so this will be like part 1. So I guess we'll do part 2. Is I'll go into further. I go into further detail about the story and the experience that I had in New York. And all the other things. So that's it for this one, and then I will attach the other audio clip to this part. So alright guys, bye.